In this module, we'll turn the EU AI Act from abstract regulation into a concrete roadmap. You'll see how to move from basic awareness to governance design to technical implementation, and finally to ongoing monitoring that protects compliance, market access, and your brand. Regulation is no longer a distant legal event, it's a product deadline. The EU AI Act phases in over the next 2 years, on the same timeline as most AI roadmaps. If your launch, scaling, and funding cycles ignore these milestones, you risk rework, blocked tenders, or losing EU market access just as competitors step in. EU AI Act readiness isn't a one-off project, it's an operating cycle. You start by discovering where AI is used, then classify and prioritize use cases by risk and business value. Next, you put policies and governance in place, fix or redesign high-risk systems, align your vendors, and finally monitor everything continuously, so both compliance and trust stay up to date. The first move is straightforward. Get every AI system onto your radar. That includes internal tools, embedded SaaS features, and any shadow experiments teams are running. For each system, capture who owns it, what it does, which data it uses, where it operates, and which users or customers it can impact. Once you have an AI system inventory, the next step is triage. Every use case must land in one of 4 buckets. Prohibited uses are stopped outright. High-risk systems, especially Annex 3 and safety critical, get your primary resources. Limited risk systems mainly need transparency measures. Minimal risk uses are kept on the map, but carry no major obligations. Phase 3 is about turning legal obligations into routine behavior. You set up a cross-functional governance committee to steer AI use and assign clear AI risk owners for each system. Then you wire governance into day-to-day operations through an AI policy, standard DPIA or FRIA templates, and approval gates that every significant AI initiative must pass. For high-risk systems, remediation isn't a quick patch. It's building an evidentiary record. You need clean, well-governed data, tested for bias. Clear human-in-the-loop protocols that specify who can intervene and when. Robustness checks for security and accuracy. And technical documentation that proves traceability and explainability. Regulators will say, "Show me, not trust me." Vendor AI doesn't remove your exposure. Under the EU AI Act, you inherit their risk. A non-compliant model inside a SaaS product can still trigger penalties, investigations, and reputational damage for you. So tighten procurement questions, push liability and data ownership into contracts, and make delivery of technical documentation a condition to sign. No artifacts, no deal. Once an AI system is live, the real work starts. Continuous monitoring means tracking performance, drift, and bias, and reacting quickly when something shifts. Under the EU AI Act, especially for high-risk systems, compliance becomes an ongoing heartbeat, not a one-time approval. Now zoom out and look at the next 24 to 30 months as 4 overlapping waves. First, you inventory and triage AI use cases, so you know your risk. In parallel, you stand up governance and remediate 1 or 2 pilot systems. Then you scale remediation and vendor controls across the portfolio. Finally, you industrialize audit readiness and continuous monitoring as business as usual. When you plan resourcing, you're not comparing cost to zero cost. You're weighing planned investment against unpredictable downside. Compliance spend creates reusable capabilities, templates, and platforms you can amortize across many AI projects. Non-compliance, by contrast, risks multi-million euro fines, reputational damage, and even being locked out of key markets. At its core, the EU AI Act is a people challenge more than a tooling challenge. Every leader should assume AI literacy must become as basic as email skills, from the board to frontline staff. From there, position governance as a product partner. It clears ambiguity, accelerates decisions, and protects the organization's license to operate. So how do you turn this into action? First, run a quick inventory survey across business units and vendors to surface all AI, including shadow tools. Next, flag a short list of Tier 1 systems that are clearly high risk or business critical. Finally, appoint a small decision group with the authority to prioritize, fund, and unblock this work. Let's pause and shift gears. Now it's your turn. Bring questions, challenges, and real projects, and we'll translate ideas into concrete EU AI Act actions.